I now call this meeting of the Kansas State University Student Governing Association Student Senate to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I want to begin our Student Senate meeting taking place on Thursday, September 8th, 2022 with a land acknowledgement. We recognize that Kansas State University, as the first land-grant institution, stands on the ancestral grounds of the Kaw people. Our state of Kansas is home to 4 federally recognized Native nations: the Iowa, Kickapoo, Prairie Band Potawatomi, and Sac and Fox. We must remember that the land serving as the foundation for this institution was, and still is, stolen land acquired by white settlers. We acknowledge our commitment to creating decolonized spaces at the university while advocating for the support and future success of Indigenous faculty, staff, and students at K-State. And with that, Speaker Pro Tempore Pineda-Gomez will take it away with our first roll call.
Thanks so much, Evan. Anderson. Here. Bannister. Here. Barron. Here. Bellamy. Here. Blood.
Here.
Broughton. Here. Brown. Carey. Compton. Here. Coy. Here. DePaz. Here. Dole. Here. Gromas. Here. Heatherman. Hoffman. Here. Johnson. Here. Kamen. Here. Kirshen. Kidd. Here. Kermer. Here. Labidi. Here. Long. Here. McFarland. Here. McPhee. Middaugh. Here. Murphy. Here. Naretti. Here. Navarro. Here. Oury. Here. Pelton. Here. Phillips. Here. Pilchard. Here. Pondello. Here. Rogers. Here. Saya. Here. Salmon. Here. Shear. Here. Schweier. Here. Spindler. Here. Stout. Here. Strout. Here. Talbert. Thomas, and Volgamore. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, everybody. We got it. Yeah. Okay, thank you, everybody. Are there any first open period speakers this evening? Okay, seeing none, we will go ahead and move into approval of the minutes. The minutes were distributed on Tuesday along with the agenda and legislation tracking information. Are there any questions or corrections for the minutes? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the minutes? Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. Are there any objections? Seeing none, the minutes stand approved. And with that, I will go ahead and move into our announcements. So announcements this week, just something to put on everyone's radar. Our at-large application closes tomorrow. Should have mentioned this last week, totally slipped my mind. So if anyone that you know outside of SGA or maybe within SGA also is interested in serving at-large on any of the Student Senate standing committees, there's also a number of university-wide committees that the student body president gets appointments to. If you're interested on serving on any of those university-wide ones, or anyone you know is interested in serving on a standing committee, fill out that application. If you want priority placement on your committee, get it done probably tomorrow night, because they're going to be selecting at-large members in committees on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. But otherwise, just let me know if you have any questions about that. And then just normal announcements. We have proxy forms. So if you need to be absent from Student Senate for any reason, you can fill out that proxy form and I will approve it, just based on the Student Senate standing rules. If you need to be physically absent from Zoom but are still able to attend at 7 p.m. on Thursday, you can fill out the Student Senate Zoom request form, and I'll again approve those based on the standing rules. And again, if you want to give props to anyone in Student Senate, you can fill out the Senate shoutouts form with that link to that Google form, and Juan will read those at the end of the meeting. And the SGA member of the week this week is Maddie Carey. Maddie has taken charge of the Inclusive Infrastructure Report in the Strategic Oversight Committee and has been working hard to finalize the plan and start working to support students. Thank you all. Thank you for all your hard work, Maddie. And then there we have our calendar of events. No times have changed for anything, so same as it was last week. And our quote of the week is, "Leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality." Okay, and with that, we will go ahead and move into approval of appointments. And first up, we have Resolution 22-23-23. If the author will please come forward. I am the author. Okay, this is Resolution 22-23-23, approval of Student Governing Association Communications Director, authors me, sponsors Kathleen Cowell, Jeff Ebeck, Juan Pineda-Gomez, Hattie Polson, Marta Richenberg, and Parker Volgamore. Whereas it is necessary to appoint and approve the Communications Director of the Kansas State University Student Governing Association, whereas this position was sufficiently advertised, and whereas this individual was chosen on the basis of their leadership ability, experience, and dedication to serving the Kansas State University student body throughout the next term, be it resolved that Section 1, the following individual be approved as Communications Director for the 2022-2023 Kansas State University Student Governing Association term, Adelaide Easter.
Are there any questions or corrections for the speaker? Is there a motion? Senator Gromas. Resolution.
It's been moved and seconded to approve Resolution 23 unanimously. Are there any objections? Okay, seeing none, Resolution 23 will stand approved. Adelaide, if you want to come down, we'll get you first. Thank you. So just raise your right hand and say, I will, at the end. I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of Communications Director and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Kansas State University Student Governing Association. Awesome. So if you want to introduce yourself, your name and pronouns, your major, your hometown, and your favorite smell.
Hi, everyone. I'm Adelaide Easter. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a sophomore studying bakery science and food science with a secondary major in global food systems leadership and minors in business and leadership. I'm from Salina, Kansas, and my favorite smell are my grandma's homemade cookies.
Awesome. Thanks, Adelaide. And if our two senators that have yet to be sworn in want to come on down, we can get you sworn in now. You want to stand next to him on that side? Thank you. Will you raise your right hand and just say, I will at the end? I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of Student Senator and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Kansas State University Student Governing Association. Awesome. So same thing, your name, Dr. Naretti, you can tell us just what your field of study was, your hometown, and your favorite smell.
Hello, everybody. I'm so happy to see you all and be here tonight. I missed the first meeting, but wanted to make it to the second meeting, and I'm here. I am from India, and I teach organic chemistry, so there are some of my students sitting here, and it's happy to see them outside the building. I teach organic, and not many students like me because of that. At the end of the semester, they hate me for. And it's okay, I got used to it over a period of time. I do my best not to do that, but apparently it happens. Anyways, so my favorite smell, I was wondering, but I like that. And I'm thinking, what do I like? I like what is known as a biryani, which my mom makes. I don't know if you're familiar with it. If not, we can have one potluck and when I can bring in some biryani. Not spicy, I promise, but yeah, that's my favorite smell. Just thinking of it, my mouth waters. But anyways, it is really nice seeing you all here. Thank you.
I'm Zain Labidi. I'm a junior studying political science and pre-law. He, him. I am from a small town outside of Wichita, Rose Hill, Kansas. I'm going blank on what exactly my favorite smell would be. I'm a sucker for, anyone know like Japanese cherry blossom? I'm sure. Oh yeah. And that's about it for me.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. And with that, we'll go ahead and move into committee reports. Are there any committee chairs that would like to give a report tonight? Chair Saya.
There we go. All right. Thanks, Evan. So, good evening, everyone. I am giving a committee report tonight to give a little bit more context on Bill 14, which you saw introduced last week, and you will see debated tonight. This bill is the creation of the Inclusive Infrastructure Plan. This is the first major piece of legislation out of my committee, the Strategic Oversight Committee, and I thought it would be helpful to give you context on why this piece of legislation is significant and what it actually means. So first, what legislation is this? What does it do? Well, it creates the Inclusive Infrastructure Plan. But that plan is not only what is listed in the legislation. It's actually this document that they have on the screen now. Bryce, if you could just scroll through it. It is a more thorough organization of the issue of accessibility and inclusive infrastructure. It includes important people that are relevant to this issue across the university. It includes information about why this is an issue in the first place, how it affects students, but it also includes two very specific lists of things. The first list is a list of values, which Bryce is on this page right here. These values are fundamental statements about what we as SGA believe, and they're included in the legislation. The second list is our strategies or action items list. And these are, again, a concrete summary of what we as SGA would like to achieve in order to uphold those principles in the first place. So this style of work, this organization of ideas, is exactly what my committee was created to do in the first place. This plan will exist until we as a body, or SGA as an organization, over time completes all of these strategies that you see here, or decides that for whatever reason they aren't achievable. So one by one, we will cross off things off of that list for some reason or another, and eventually we will determine this plan completed. The reason why we have this particular organization of initiatives and beliefs and research is because we want to organize our thoughts over the long term in a way that SGA has really struggled at in the past, right? Students struggle with the fundamental problem that they will graduate eventually. And what I was passionate about while I was in SGA, it doesn't mean anything to someone who is 5 years down the line. But this particular organization of ideas is supposed to make it easier to communicate what we as SGA believe, both with outside individuals like faculty, the people or administration that have the power to change a lot of these issues, but also future students that will serve on the Strategic Oversight Committee and future students that will just be senators in general. This allows them to pick up the issue and continue that journey of research and action and change. So all in all, this is an engine designed to make us more effective at implementing things. The reason why this legislation matters tonight is because it codifies both of those lists, our list of principles or values and our lists of strategies or action items. They are a representation of what we, SGA, the organization, believe is true, what students deserve, and what we believe should happen over the long term. We understand that not all of these things may be accomplishable. It's not about defining what we can and can't do. That's what we answer over the long term. This is about defining what we should do. So pay very close attention to the debate tonight. These are supposed to be a representation of your values, so make sure that happens.
Awesome. Thanks, Nick. Are there any questions? Okay, awesome. Seeing none, you can take your seat. Are there any further committee chairs that would like to give a report tonight? Okay, seeing none, are there any directors that would like to give a report tonight? Intern Coordinator Lynn.
Yeah, so we had our first meeting of the intern program right before this meeting. For anyone who is curious, there were 12 people in attendance, which is awesome. Really glad to have those 12. However, if you do have more people that you happen to know, please send me their names. I would love to see attendance go up over the next couple of meetings. That would be really awesome. If anyone does have any other questions about how the meeting went or like concerns or whatever about the intern program, you can also let me know about that. But I just wanted to give everyone an update on like what our attendance looked like tonight.
Awesome. Thanks, Peyton. She's not taking questions. Are there any further directors that would like to give a report? President Vogelmore.
All right, hello and greetings from the executive branch. I apologize for the tardiness of my fellow branch members, but tonight we had the awesome opportunity to tour the Hale Library. So that was a ton of fun. It was really eye-opening, really cool behind the scenes. Hope to bring Dean Joe of the libraries here at some point to give you a better feel for kind of what's going on there. You know, one of the things we've talked about in this room and in other circles is how, especially because of COVID, there's been this issue about students being aware of what resources are available. So we spend a lot of time advocating for new resources for students, trying to bring things to campus. But especially over the last several years, we've started to notice this problem where there are maybe some incredible resources on campus that students just don't know about. So we have a unique kind of opportunity here with this body. I really encourage you when we bring in speakers like this, open period guests to pay attention, and we can kind of help spread the word about some great things like what they have going on at the Hale Library. But anyways, I digress with that. We'll save that for when we do have Dean Joe here. But just a couple quick things I want to make you all aware of. So coming up this next week, a couple dates for your calendar. I apologize for the confusion in my emails I sent as I was running across campus. But the Vice President for Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging Search Committee, so VPDEIB, would like to extend an invitation to you all as Student Governing Association and students in general to the upcoming Student Open Forums. So this is a search committee. To give you a little background on what's going on, we recently elevated the Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion to a vice presidential role on President Linton's cabinet. So they have begun the search process for that, and they've narrowed it down to 3 finalists. Some more information about those candidates specifically can be found on the K-State Today announcement, also with the link I sent in that email today. But just so you have the dates, those student open forums are open for anybody. You can show up, ask questions, you can look through their bios. The first one was actually today, hence the kind of last second email I sent you there. But it was at 1:30 this afternoon in the K-State Alumni Association. I did have the chance to meet Dr. Martise Hammonds, and he was just fantastic. I was really excited to get to talk to him, and I'm excited to meet the next 2 candidates. But I really encourage you next Tuesday, next Tuesday, September 13th, the open forum for Raina Johnson will be from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. in the banquet room B and C in the Alumni Center. Okay, so I'll send an email out, shoot a message out on next Tuesday, but I would love representation from you all to go to that. And then as well as next Wednesday, this one's gonna be at the Flint Hills room, Student Union, also at 1:30 p.m. So be aware of those, they're coming up. It's a great opportunity for you all to show up as students and provide some feedback, ask some questions, and that sort of great thing. So otherwise, a couple other quick reports coming from our cabinet. So coming soon to K-State, probably some mixed feelings on this one, but Duo, if you're familiar with that, it's multi-factor authentication. So anytime you go signing in to Canvas or with your KSYS account, it's now going to be requiring a multi-factor authentication. So that'll be a text message, phone call, that sort of thing. I know you've probably all used that in the past in some manner. But K-Stater, the fact of the matter is K-Staters' personal data and research are at risk now more than ever. With so much personal and institutional information to safeguard, the Division of Information Technology has implemented this 2-factor authentication system. This has been a place for faculty and staff for a period of time now, and we'll be rolling out through the semester, so expect that. If you get questions from the student body, you can direct those to our technology director, Zach Rankin. He's super plugged in and doing a great job on those committees. Otherwise, one last thing. So a couple more. So one, we've got some big Get Out to Vote initiatives coming up. If you've been in SGA for a while, you know that used to be some stuff handled within the Governmental Relations Committee. Now we've got Cameron James Rosie's our local relations director is handling a lot of those. So the National Voter Registration Day is September 20th. We'll have some tabling opportunities with that, be putting up some things around campus. And so just stay tuned for that. That'll be some good stuff we're doing. And then lastly, just want to encourage you all as student leaders. I know you've probably seen everything going on with Twitter, everything talking about Stop the Chant and all this going on. Just a little bit of information for you. This was news to me and really helped change my heart and mind and kind of see the bigger picture here. And I encourage you all to take this information and help everybody you know see the bigger picture. But the fact of the matter, this chant has a major impact on the university in ways you wouldn't think about. So one, the biggest is recruitment of potential students. If you think about a potential student coming to visit campus, probably the best environment for them to see the purple pride and passion our students have is at a K-State game. And unfortunately, imagine that student's parents maybe went to that darn school down the road, or perhaps they just have a family member, or they just don't have any experience with K-State in general. That's obviously it has. We've talked to parents and students who that's just completely deterred them. So when we're facing enrollment decline and recruitment is one of the biggest challenges to the university, that's part of the bigger picture thing to consider. Also, I don't even need to talk about just the general conduct and how that reflects us as students. So please, I encourage you all, if you're curious about what this looks like, please come talk to me. It's not like administration or Dr. Trace like trying to strong arm the student body as Twitter and Barstool and things are trying to say. The fact of the matter is it just impacts the university so negatively that when that chant starts, they have to stop playing. Whether it's playing something through the sound system or the band, it doesn't matter. They have to just stop playing because of what that's doing. So please, I encourage you to share that message. Hope to see you all at the game. I'm excited. Also, of course, I've talked about this before, so I won't say it again. But if you have any feedback from the first tailgate of the game, we had a great meeting earlier this afternoon, kind of debriefing from that, how we can improve, what we can do better forward, and really excited to see where that goes. So, but just feel free to shoot me an email if you've got any feedback or chat after Senate. But with that, I will stop rambling. Any questions or anything folks have? Yeah.
Caucus Leader Kid.
So with the integration of Duo multi-factor authentication for students, why is that coming now versus before, as faculty have already had to do that for 2 years?
Yeah, so I think some of it, several factors. One, it was rolling out some of the infrastructure to get that in place, and it was easier to sort of test it, if you will, as they rolled it out with faculty and staff with a kind of a smaller subset of folks there. That's been, I don't know, how long is that? A couple of years now that there's been multi-factor authentication. And I know some of it's been getting the just IT infrastructure in place to be able to do this, but it has been a priority for at least 3 to 4 years that they've been trying to roll this out. So there wasn't any specific event, I guess, that is where we're having to do it now. But
Go ahead, Derek.
please do.
We have insurance, risk management insurance on the liability of the institution. One of the things that the insurance provider commented on, actually for the Board of Regents schools, is that we don't secure our data at the level they would like us to do. And one of our highest risk areas is our students' entries into our data systems. And so it looks like we will be the first institution in the Regent schools to implement student dual authentication. I know it's
Yeah, I will add also, I work for the K-State Foundation. Peyton does too. We have to use Duo. Once you get used to it after like 2 weeks, not a big deal. Like it's just like you like are already pulling your phone out and like waiting for the little notification to pop up like as you're getting signed in. So like don't stress too much about it. That's what I'll add. Anyway, are there any further questions? Senator Heatherman.
I guess I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that. I know they're rolling it out this semester. Yeah, and it'll include anybody that's in the K-State IT infrastructure system in general. Yes.
I don't know the exact answer, but I suspect it's upon enrollment.
When you're setting up the EID.
Right. That's a great question. Like, where's the layering going?
Okay, any other questions? Awesome. Seeing none, thanks, Parker. And with that, are there any further directors that would like to give a report tonight? Okay, seeing none, we're going to move into general orders. So obviously, for those of you that were here, I touched on this last week, but just to kind of explain again, something that we have to do every year is every 3 years is evaluate officer compensation within KSU SGA. So like I said last week, for those of you that don't know, all of our branch leadership, as well as the committee chairs and the elections commissioner, are compensated at different levels of scholarship. Some of the branch leadership get like an hourly stipend, sort of like compensation, like wage. Something I didn't mention last week, you're probably gonna like throw tomatoes. We get free parking passes. We get like a free K pass. So that's like a $700 parking pass, I think, $600, something like that. That's like a gratis agreement that we have with parking services for the like arrangements that we have with them. But that's part of that compensation package as well, and that can be like evaluated within JCOC. So if you really, really don't like me and you don't want me to be able to park wherever I want to, run for JCOC and have that be known. But with that being said, like the next thing I'm going to do is seek a motion to open the floor for nominations. And once someone has moved and seconded to open the floor for nominations, if you want to run, you can nominate yourself. If you are an individual that thinks someone else would be good at it or knows that someone else wants to do it, you can nominate them. We'll leave it open for a few minutes just in case anyone like decides to throw their hat in at the last minute, throw their, you know what I'm trying to say. Yep. But anyway, so once that happens, each of the candidates will get up and get to give like a little bit of a spiel about why they want to do it. The other candidates can't be in the room when that's happening. So if we have 3 or 4, the others will like step out. And then after that, every candidate will leave the room and I will ask for speeches. I'll just pick a random order for the people and we'll ask for speeches about that individual. It can be for or against that individual. And once those speeches have been exhausted, we will go ahead and move into a vote. So while that is happening, I will cook up a little ballot and make sure it gets sent out to all of the senators that have voting rights. And then we will like announce who won, basically. Nick, you look really confused. We're electing 2 people? 2 people, yep. So it works kind of similar to the way that it was like when Juan and I were elected, but if you weren't here for that, you'll pick up on it. But there will be 2 individuals that are representatives from Student Senate that get appointed to JCOC. So with that being said, I'm now seeking a motion to open the floor for nominations. Chair Thomas? I move to open the floor for nominations. It's been moved and seconded to open the floor for nominations. Are there any objections? Okay, seeing none, the floor will now stand open for nominations, and we are seeking nominations. Chair Thomas? Okay, Jeremy has accepted. Senator Broughton? Okay, Drew has been nominated and has accepted. I'm just gonna, Chair Phillips? I nominate Rachel Gomez. I don't accept. That's fair. Bentley brings up a good point. Officers can't do JCOC. Currently, like they can't be elected, but I don't think that changes anything for anyone. Blake, if we only have 2 Okay, Hannah said no. Intern coordinator Lynn. It's all student senate officers. And you have to be a student senator. But I'm going to leave the floor open for nominations for a few more seconds. Chair Phillips? Okay. Will made my night so much harder. No, I'm kidding. So we have 3 candidates right now. Are there anyone else interested in making a nomination or nominating themselves? Caucus Leader Navarro. Okay, now we have 4 candidates. Is there anyone else interested in nominating themselves or being nominated? Okay, cool. Is there a motion to close the floor for nominations? Chair Long? Okay, it's been moved and seconded to close the floor for nominations. Are there any objections? Seeing none, the floor is now closed for nominations. So we have 4 nominees. We have Senator Kamen, Caucus Leader Bellamy, Senator Bannister, and Senator Hoffman. If the 4 of you want to come up to the front of the room, I'm going to put your names into a random order generator, and then we'll decide who gets to speak first. And then the other gentleman can leave the room. Bear with me for a moment. This might take me a second. Yeah, you can stand at the podium, Jeremy. So Jeremy's going to go first, and then we're going to have Jacob, then Will, then Drew. So Blake, 4 minutes, 10 minutes? 4. Regular speech time, 4 minutes. But you don't have to use all of it, but we will time you. So if you get to 4 minutes, we can extend your time or not. You don't have to. You don't have to time yourself. We're going to time you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You have 10 minutes, but you are by no means obligated to use 10 minutes.
Just start whenever? Cool. Hey everyone, my name is Jeremy Kamen, and don't worry, I will not be taking all 10 minutes. So I just joined the Senate last semester, and I'm looking for many more ways to actually get involved within the Senate. I think it's a very fun and interesting way for me to partake in student government. And as a physics major, I don't get many opportunities to do that. Luckily, I've gotten the opportunity to, post-COVID, get back into the community. However, there's a lot of things I am looking to do. For example, meet more of you and actually meet some of our officers and have a greater impact on campus. And I think that this would be a great way for me to do that. I've gotten to know a lot of the officers, and I'd like to make sure that they're getting adequately compensated for their work here, and ensure that those who aren't getting adequately compensated are honored and recognized for their hard work. Overall, once again, I'll not take the full 10 minutes. I'm not going to beat around the bush. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeremy. Yes, there are questions. Are there any questions for Senator Kamen? Senator Gomez.
Yeah, sorry, I probably should have mentioned that in my talk. Thank you. I'm sorry. So within the physics department itself, I've been called upon by the department head and the dean within there to give multiple talks and presentations and serve as an aide/advisor on everything ranging from graduate student income and tuition to diversity, equity, and inclusion within the faculty and staff and undergraduates. Additionally, I am president of the physics club and have been running their treasury as well as coming up with and actually creating a constitution for the club that did not have one. And part of that included, and it will include some more, compensation for the officers there. And additionally, I'm also responsible within Cardwell for helping provide TAs and graduate and undergraduate TAs for their pay and for advising on whether they should be paid more or less. So that's some of the experience I have in the area. Yeah.
Senator Shear.
So currently I am, as I said, I just joined Senate like last semester, so I have not looked into it too much, but I have talked to my my committee chair a little bit, and she has helped me get my bearings straight on all this. And for the most part, I'm kind of, with the people who are being compensated, such as the president and vice president, I think that their compensation is adequate, and I think it's good, but I do think there are some chair members who do not receive some levels of compensation, such as some committee chairs not receiving any parking passes at all, that probably should at least be given a little bit more in that arena. But once again, I would like to, before I can make any actually solid comments on that topic, I'll need to actually join the committee and get a little more involved and see what ideas are going around, and I'm sure there's a lot going on behind the scenes for why some things are given or not given. So sorry, I can't really fully answer that question straight. I apologize.
Are there any further questions? Caucus Leader Navarro.
You know, that's a great question. But
do you?
I abstain from answering that question at this time.
Fair enough. Are there any further questions? Okay, awesome. Seeing none, can you step out into like the lobby or wherever they are hanging out?
Thank you.
And send Jacob in. Thank you, Jeremy. How's everyone doing? I'm pretty good. Thank you. Welcome, Jacob. You have 10 minutes. Yeah, by no means feel like you have to use all 10 minutes, and then we will ask questions after.
Okay, I was sitting out there and I was like, holy crap, Jeremy is talking for a long time. I was planning to say, hey guys, my name's Jacob Hoffman. I'm an econ major, so that kind of qualifies me, I guess. But I just thought it'd be fun. Just, I don't know, like, seems like a good opportunity to be on, get some experience, you know? And if you guys like me, it's like whatever. So I'll take questions.
Thanks, Jacob. Are there any questions for Senator Hoffman?
You could ask me when my birthday is.
Chief of Staff Richenberg.
My mom was from there, and I'm actually not. I'm gonna retract what I was about to say. Yeah, my mom's from there, so I've liked the Bills for a while. Oh,
Chair Long.
Good thing you don't get a vote. Oh, thank you for asking that, Jacob. Since last year I was on, what was it called? Like something like, no, I was on tuition enhanced, no, what? Student, well, oh, also student services fee and also travel allocations. Sorry, I'm kind of bad with acronyms. I was calling EOF for most of the semester instead of tech. Because I forgot they changed the name. That's unrelated. Yeah, I was on SSF last year, so I was part of major budget cuts there, which, you know, sucked. But it was fun to be a part of. And yeah, those are good opportunities.
Senator Shear.
Too high. Get rid of it. Give it to the people. No, I'm really... I genuinely don't know a lot about it. I'll be honest. But I would be very much open to learn a lot about it, and I think that's what excites me about it is because I don't know a lot about it, and so I'd be willing to put in the work.
Director Brown?
It has no significance. I just thought nobody was going to ask me a question, so I got sad. It's July 25th though, 2003.
Senator Dahl?
I'll definitely see what we have in the budget. I'll be honest. But if it's coming out of Evans, yeah, I think we can hook you up.
Yeah, Senator, oh my God, Rogers, yeah.
I mean, he's had some good plays, but I mean, Josh, you see that throw? Josh Allen's touchdown throw. I mean, I'm happy. I have him as my fantasy quarterback, so I'm popping off right now.
Any further questions?
Andrew, you raised it up.
No. We don't probe. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Seeing no further questions, Jacob, thank you for your speech and for answering questions. And will you go out and send
Yeah.
Will in?
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Welcome, Will. So you have 10 minutes. By no means feel obligated to use all 10 minutes. And then afterwards,
What if I go over 10?
someone can motion to extend the speaker's time. But yeah, we will ask you questions and you will answer our questions.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
So I've actually been thinking about running for this for a while now. But then someone was like, you should just wait and see if anyone nominates you because they probably won't. So thank you, Blake. I actually think that it's really important we think about the future economic environment for this position because we are not like at all close to being done with the tailwinds of inflation. And I've been doing a lot of financial modeling and doing economic modeling to back that up. I think I just have a really good insight to where we're headed in that direction. So I think it'd be valuable when we're looking at compensation to be able to consider that. So that's kind of where I have my inside edge here, and I think that would be very beneficial for the committee. I now open myself up to questions.
Yeah, Senator Scheer.
I have been on all except like one of the committees in the Senate that allocates money. I'm a finance and economics major, and I have a lot of good relations with the Wichita State University Senate, and they're going through the same process right now, so.
Chair Long.
I think everyone except one person should get a parking pass, but no, I think that's important. We can, I think it's important we continue to adjust compensation with inflation so like people can actually do their jobs instead of having to worry about other things like picking up a second job or like walking 3 blocks, but. Okay.
Are there any further questions? Okay, seeing none, thank you, Will. If you will go out and send Drew back in, please. Thank you. Welcome, Drew. You will have 10 minutes. By no means feel obligated to use all 10 minutes.
I'm going to filibuster.
Okay. And then, no, can you stand at the podium? Thank you. And then afterwards, we will ask you questions. And you will
Okay.
answer our questions. Thank you, Drew.
Ready? Okay, hi, I'm Drew Bellamy. I'm a senator for the College of Education. This is my second year serving as a senator. I would be more than happy to serve as your JCOC representative. I think it'd be a super fun time. Yeah, I feel knowledgeable about it. I have never served as an officer, so I am unbiased. So is every other candidate, though, so don't take that into consideration. But yeah, that's my speech. Oh, one thing I would do, actually, as a JCOC representative, is I would make sure that the elections commissioner does get compensated for his work, his or her work. One thing that, like, the bylaws states that the election commissioner gets minimum wage, but there's not, like, an entity to fund that out of. And so I think that making sure that there's a way to actually compensate this person for the important work that they do would be really important and a useful way for JCOC to spend their time. Thank you.
Thank you, Drew. Are there any questions for Caucus Leader Bellamy? Caucus Leader Navarro.
Well, obviously I don't have any experience with JCOC directly. I've never been a JCOC representative before. But I do feel very aware. I am currently a Senate Operations Committee member. And so I am, yeah, shout out to Bentley. And so I do have like some experience working with documents, stuff like that. And so yeah, that's how I feel qualified to be a JCOC member.
Are there any further questions? Chair Long.
Yeah, good question. So I think they are mostly good, and I think that we would just have to take a hard look at all of them. I think that, I remember last year I was in OCAC, and Durga Jampunathan, who was the previous chair, said, and I want to tell you guys this, but I definitely do not do 10 hours of work. And so I think we need to just look at how much work the chairs are like actually doing and compensate it justly.
Are there any further questions? Okay, awesome. Thanks, Drew. You can go ahead and head out, and we're going to debate a little bit, and then we'll come get you when we're done.
Alrighty, thank you so much.
Okay, so like I said at the beginning, we're going to go ahead and move into a little bit of debate now. Like I said, if you were here when Juan and I were elected, it'll work the same way. I will just, in the order that they spoken, seek speeches for the 4 candidates. Anyone that wants to speak can get up and speak, and then we'll just go in that until either speeches are exhausted or everyone has gotten 5 chances. Yes, which is the previous question for those of you that aren't familiar. Anyway, that being said, we're now seeking speeches for Jeremy Kamin. Chair Thomas.
Hey guys, I nominated Jeremy. He has been a senator since last semester. He's on my committee and he's really gone out of his way to go above and beyond with the committee so far. He's really looking to get involved. He's super interested in officer compensation, so I think he would be a really good fit and he would definitely put in the work for JCOC. Do I have questions or do I?
No questions. Thank you, Chair Thomas. Seeing as that was just a speech for Jeremy, are there now any speeches for Jacob Hoffman? Caucus Leader Navarro.
Hi. So I was the person who nominated him, so I kind of felt obligated to talk about him. He's a good guy. Obviously, you could tell, he's got a sense of humor. But I think just knowing Jacob, he's got a good moral repertoire. I think that he'd be good. I'm really not sure if he'd be good for this position, but I do know, I do know that he wants to be more involved in SGA. And wanting to be involved in more in SGA means that he's willing to put in the effort. And I think if he's willing to put in the effort, we should give him a shot. So, thank you.
Thanks, Andrew. Seeing as that was just a speech for Jacob, we're now seeking speeches for Will Bannister. Right, Senator Coy.
Okay, hello. Listening to Will's speech, he really provided like a unique perspective, really like addressing inflation, because I think we all have like felt that hit to our pocketbooks. So definitely, I think that should be considered when we're looking at officer compensation and those changes, and especially how he kind of has a background in business and whatnot. I think that he would be really good, especially the way that he talked about how he's done kind of like research and different models about where the finances of SGA and the university is going.
Thanks, Riley. Seeing as that was just a speech for Will, we're now seeking speeches for Drew Bellamy. Chair Long.
Drew has a wonderful and interesting way of considering financial issues without considering the actual finance behind them and considering the people and important human aspects behind financial choices, and that's going to be really important for this one.
Thank you, Jacob. Seeing as that was just a speech for Drew Bellamy, we're now seeking speeches for Jeremy Kamen. Senator Barron.
Hello, I just wanted to talk about how I am personally going to be voting. I think JCOC is a very important committee that we need to be voting for people who actually have experience and not necessarily for people who are looking to gain experience. I know there are a lot of other committees for that, but I think this committee in particular is adjusting the finances of our peers and their well-being, as one of the previous speakers said in their speech, so that they don't have to necessarily go look for a second job and they can be solely committed on this job. Additionally, I think that Jeremy is a person like that. I think he's very qualified for this job. Being a physics major with Jeremy and seeing him over the past couple of months, I guarantee you that he puts his whole life and into his work. And when I tell you he single-handedly is picking up the physics undergraduate program and putting it back on the map, he is doing that. Physics Club had 3 people for the past 3 years, and just last week there were 27 people at the meeting, and he is personally doing the work. He is going to the head of the physics department. He is emailing all the people. He is putting in the work, and I've seen it, and I think that's why he'd be a great person for this job.
Thanks, Josh. Seeing as that was just a speech for Jeremy, we're now seeking speeches for Jacob Hoffman. Chair Pondello.
So I think that Jacob would be really good on this committee due to the fact that like me and him were on student service fee last semester. And this is someone that really knows like the ins and outs of like the budget of SGA and what we need to take into consideration, which is that like student government is on the chopping block for this year on like allocation wise. And so that's something that Jacob is part of student service fees. So he'll know about that. So he'll take that into consideration. I don't want to say versus other people that don't have the experience, but we need someone that will like really like help uplift our budget and maintain it and keep it healthy and keep it real. And I think whether that's a decrease on some people or increase on others, I think Jacob will do that and will keep SGA budget afloat.
Thanks, Joseph. So seeing that as that was just a speech for Jacob, we're now seeking speeches for Will Bannister. Senator Rogers.
Hello, I just want to say that Will Bannister is an excellent representation of what it would be like to be in this position, of what a person who should be in this position would be like. He was in Student Services Fees Committee last year. I heard he was an excellent member. He's really thorough, he's super analytical, and he's really intelligent, and he won't let you guys down. And he will do a great job and set a great role model if to be elected for the next person on this role. So, yeah.
Thanks, Tatiana. Seeing as that was just a speech for Will, we're now seeking speeches for Drew Bellamy. Any speeches for Drew Bellamy? Okay, seeing none, we are now seeking speeches for Jeremy Kamen. Any further speeches for Jeremy? Okay, seeing none, we're now seeking speeches for Jacob Hoffman. And are there any further speeches for Jacob? Okay, seeing none, we're now seeking speeches for Will Bannister. Any further speeches for Will Bannister? Okay, seeing as debate has exhausted, we will now go ahead and move into the actual election of our JCOC officers this evening. Here in a few minutes, I'm sorry, I'm still getting it fixed up on my end with the form. I will email that out to all of you. I just ask that you fill that out basically as soon as it hits your inbox. And then I'll need a few minutes after that to tabulate the results. So if you just don't mind bearing with me there, but I will go ahead and get this form sent out to all of you. Adelaide, would you mind going out and grabbing them and bringing them back in? I appreciate it. Thank you. But yeah, let me know when that gets into your inbox. I just need just a few more seconds here. Oh, also, I probably should explain. It's a ranked choice, 1 through 4. So top candidate, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 being your least preferred candidate. Thanks, everybody. Okay, let me know when that hits your inboxes. I did send it to everybody in SGA, so hopefully no one that isn't supposed to fills out the form, but I will filter those as they come in. Proxies, you can submit it twice, please. Speaking of proxies, I don't think I ever read those. So for proxies tonight, we have Grolmes for Grills, McFarland for Wolf, Salmon for Kalari Kial, and Johnson for Davidson. Thanks, everybody. I don't want to keep bugging you, but is everyone accessing it okay? Awesome. Okay, I'm going to give it still a few more minutes here. Looks like there are just a couple responses left to get based on the number that we were expecting. So I'm going to give it still a few more minutes. So if you were a proxy and you didn't vote twice or you just haven't had a chance to submit yet, can you get that in just here in the next few minutes, please? Thank you. Okay, based on our count, we're still expecting just one more. So if you're that one and you haven't had a chance to get it submitted, I'm going to close the form to submissions here in like 2 minutes. So if you could get that in, please. Okay, thanks everybody. Looks like we just got all the submissions we were going to get. So like I said, if you just bear with me here for a few minutes, I'm going to get these results tabulated. Feel free to chat amongst yourselves and I'll just call us back to order whenever I have those results.
Mr. Speaker.
Okay, everybody. You want to start finding your seats? We have our results. I know you're all very excited to hear. Okie dokie, everybody. So thanks for bearing with me on that. A little bit of math. Just wanted to make sure we double checked and got all the numbers correct. So thank you, everybody that nominated yourselves, got nominated. Appreciate the fact that you're dedicated to serving SGA and wanting to be on the Joint Committee on Officer Compensation. So I'm going to go ahead and announce the results now in no particular order. I'm only going to say the top two candidates that won, and again, no particular order, so I don't want anyone to think that they got 0 votes or something like that. So congratulations to Will and Jeremy. You two will be serving as our Student Senate representatives on the Joint Committee on Officer Compensation. I think I might have mentioned this last week. I will go ahead and mention it again. That's going to be chaired by Dr. Lane. So if you can get with me ASAP, maybe after the meeting, we need to get connected with his assistant. Sorry, this is just some business. I just want to get this out here. We need to get connected with his assistant so we can get those meetings with him scheduled so that we can start doing the work. The committee can start doing their work because there's a pretty tight timeline. That first report out of the committee is due by October 15th, which means that you'll hear it here in Senate on October 13th because that's the Senate that happens before the report is due. So that's when we have to have it presented by. So again, thanks everybody for bearing with us on that. This is the last time this year, hopefully, that we'll have to do general orders. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and move into approval of allocations. So we have 3 allocations up for approval this week. First is the fiscal year 23 student allocation to the Annapolis Student Association, Kansas State University. They were recommended, they requested $1,200, they were recommended $1,200, and that was referred back to us favorably from the Student Allocations Committee 4-0 to 0. Next, we have the 2023 student allocation to the Pocono Entomology Club. They requested $1,000 and they were recommended $1,000. Bill 12, again, was also recommended favorably from the Student Allocations Committee 4-0 to 0. And then lastly, we have the fiscal year 2023 student allocation to the Tennis Club. They requested $800 and they were recommended $800. And Bill 13, like the others, was recommended or referred back to us favorably from the Student Allocations Committee 4-0 to 0. And unless there are any questions, I will entertain a motion to approve the allocations. Senator Solomon. It's been moved and seconded to approve the allocations. Are there any objections? Okay, seeing none, all 3 allocations will stand approved. Thanks, everybody. And with that, we will go ahead and move straight into final action on Bill 14. So will the author please come forward? And were any changes made?
Nope.
Okay, you have first rights to debate.
Okay, so this plan is just the first step in addressing the many accessibility concerns on campus that go beyond just ramps and handrails. These issues impact the spaces that students interact with daily that could hinder not only their personal experiences, but their access to educational and learning experiences as well. Since the implementation of the 2012 University Master Plan, improvements and changes have been made to new buildings, but there still exists significant infrastructure that is inconvenient and exclusive. This is why there must be a plan in place to point out these deficiencies and not only address them, but advocate for the students that are impacted by them. This plan allows for those students to have a voice because all students deserve to feel included and cared for in a variety of ways and experience their classes and university facilities and infrastructure with dignity, comfort, and convenience. Vote yes.
Okay, seeing as that was debate in the positive, we are now seeking any speeches in the negative. Any debate in the negative? Seeing none, are there any further speeches in the positive? Okay, seeing none, we will go back to speeches in the negative, but I don't think I have to do that because I just called for that. So we will go ahead and move straight into a roll call vote on Bill 14.
Anderson. Bannister. Barron. Bellamy. Blood.
Yes.
Broughton. Brown. Carey. Compton. Coy. Davidson. DePaz. Dole. Grills. Gromas. Heatherman. Hoffman. Johnson. Colorikiel. Kamen. Kirshen. Kidd. Kermer. Labidi. Long. McFarland. McPhee. Middahl. Murphy. Naretti. Navarro. Lowry. Pelton. Phillips. Pilchard. Pondillo. Rogers. Saya. Salmon. Shear. Schweier. Spindler. Stout. Strout. Talbert. Thomas. Volgamore. And Wolf. All right, and that will pass 43 to 1 to 0.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. And with that, we will go ahead and move into final action on Bill 15. If the author will please come forward.
Okay, so Bill 14, no, not 14, 15. Just closing of accounts for last year's fiscal year. Basically, it's self-explanatory, but this would ensure that we can start this year's fiscal processes without any interruptions. So I urge you to vote yes.
Awesome. Thanks, Juan. Seeing as that was just a speech in the positive, are there any speeches in the negative? Seeing none, are there any further speeches in the positive? Seeing none, we will move into a roll call vote. Thanks, everybody.
Anderson. Bannister. Barron. Bellamy. Blood.
Yes.
Broughton. Brown. Carey. Compton. Coy. Davidson. DePaz. Dole. Grills. Gromas. Heatherman. Hoffman. Johnson. Colorikiel. Kamen. Kirshen. Kidd. Kermer. Labidi. Long. McFarland. McPhee. Middahl. Murphy. Naretti. Navarro. Lowry. Pelton. Phillips. Pilchard. Pondillo. Rogers. Saya. Salmon. Shear. Schweier. Spindler. Stout. Strout. Talbert. Thomas. Volgamore. And Wolf. And that bill will pass on a vote of 43 to 0 to 0.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Looks like we're going to have a pretty short Senate tonight, but with that, we're going to go ahead and move into our second open period. Are there any second open period speakers? Chair Phillips.
Hey everyone, I know that Parker already touched on this earlier in the meeting, but I just wanted to reiterate, at the game Saturday and at future games, please try to remain cordial during the Wabash and any other songs. I served as speaker last year, and when you serve in one of those higher level positions, you get access to a certain amount of other information, and some other things that you'll find as impacts of the chant are donors writing letters to K-State, SGA, and et cetera, telling us that they are pulling their support for scholarships, for cancer research, and different things like that. I kid you not, there was a multi-$1,000 yearly donation for cancer research pulled because of the chant. So when you're deciding if you're going to chant or not, I would really encourage you to keep students in mind and the opportunities that exist for them. You know, it's not just if we get to say something fun or not, or, you know, do it because administration doesn't want us to. This really affects students and is something that should be taken really seriously. If you want to do this at, whether it's like a party or at the bar, that is all you. You are more than welcome to do it there, but please, when we're at K-State sporting events and representing the university, please try to avoid that and encourage your fellow friends and constituents not to as well. And I think that we will see a lot of fruition come from that. So thank you all very much, and go Cats.
Yeah, caucus leader Cade, question.
So when we're in the heat of the moment with our home skillets, how do you suggest that we encourage them to not chant those things?
You know, that is an excellent question. I know that that can be a really difficult situation to be in. I would honestly just kind of mention something that, like I just mentioned to you all, like this isn't, it's not something that we're doing because we're just trying to limit fun. Like this is an impact that students won't come to K-State because of it. Students will have less opportunity doing research. Students will have less opportunity with scholarships because of this. That at least helps some people see the bigger picture. I maybe take it on a friend-to-friend basis on how you craft that message, but yeah, thank you, Marcus.
Senator Strout. Thank you, Parker. Yeah, Senator Kermer.
Absolutely.
I second that motion. That was going to be. Anyway, any further questions? Seeing none, you may take your seat. Thanks, Blake. Are there any further second open period speakers? Martha?
I always go after Blake, and then I literally have to reach up like 6 feet just to grab the darn microphone. So I wasn't here earlier, so sorry. Our cabinet was going on a lovely tour of Hale, so that's kind of why me and Jeff and I think Parker might have came late. So sorry about that, but it was really, really cool. So if anyone's interested in anything that Hale Library is doing for us, let a girl know. But also, I don't know if someone's already mentioned this, but tomorrow is National Suicide Awareness Day. So if you are able to, please wear something green. I know our executive office is going to be wearing green tomorrow. So to show, oh yeah, Evan has the shirt. Thank you, Evan. Flaunt it. It's great. Yes. Yes. I love it. So definitely if you have something green, I bet you all do because we live in the city of Manhattan. You better have something green. You get it. Thank you. So make sure you're wearing something green to show support. And as always, just reach out to your friends, make sure they're doing okay as always. And also, make yourself aware as student leaders of the mental health resources we have on campus so you can better help your friends and our community a little bit better.
Thank you, Chief of Staff Richenberg. Are there any questions? Seeing none, are there any further speakers for a second open period? Senator Labidi.
Hey everybody, I know I am fairly new here, but I work as a part of the intramural staff as supervisor. And so the past couple weeks we've done flag football, referee training, and soccer training. And those numbers have been pretty awful, if I'm being blunt. Intramurals are an important part of K-State's history here. And if anyone here has history with football or soccer, I would greatly encourage you to reach out to anybody a part of the intramural staff. I would also encourage you to talk to your classmates about officiating opportunities. To give you a reference, we had 4 football officials come out and 2 soccer officials. We run games 5 nights a week, so those are scary numbers right now. So please get out there and advocate for your intramurals. Any questions?
Yeah. Thanks, Zane. Caucus Leader Navarro.
Yes, and we encourage you to do so.
Caucus Leader Kidd.
Do you need to be in any physical shape, positive physical shape to complete qualifications for that position?
Not necessarily, no. I am absolutely in no great physical shape or conditioning, but I'll still run out there and officiate 6 soccer games a night, so.
Senator Bannister.
$10 an hour for entry-level officials.
That is not bad, folks. Above minimum wage. Caucus Leader Navarro.
Yes. All right.
It is income. Senator Bannister. Point will. Any further questions? Okay. Senator Schreier.
It's encouraged, but no, not really. We have all of our supervisors are pretty experienced with teaching new officials, so we are more than happy to work with you if you do not have any experience officiating.
Senator Strout.
I can absolutely teach you how to be a linesman and hold your flag and signal out of bounds or offsides. It will give you 2 jobs, and I can teach you how to do that.
Senator Pilchard.
Actually, I think they're super fun. I've officiated some college games, and my best experience officiating are intramurals. There's just something different about being with a bunch of other people from K-State, your frat teams and sorority teams. It's a fun experience.
Okay, thanks, Marcus. Is this a productive question? If you have more questions for Zane, feel free to reach out to him after or reach out to any of the folks over at the rec. If there are any further productive questions for Zane, I will entertain those. If not, Zane, you can take your seat.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody. Are there any further second open period speakers for tonight? Senator Coy.
Hello. So I just wanted to plug the Union Program Council for a minute because I'm on the council as a community co-chair along with Senate. And we are looking for interns for the different committees that we have. I think a UPC executive team representative is going to try to come to one of the Senate meetings and they'll have more information. But if you have any questions or know anybody that's interested, you can go ahead and direct them down to the UPC office that's downstairs.
Are there any questions for Riley? Okay, awesome. Seeing none, you can take your seat. And are there any further second open period speakers? Okay, seeing none, we don't have any legislation to refer tonight, so we will go straight into our second roll call.
Anderson. Okay. Bannister.
Pause. Senate shoutouts.
Hold
My
that
bad.
thought, folks. All right, for Senate shoutouts. Peyton is a powerful woman in pink. Shout out to the Cats for winning their first football game. Shout out to everyone wearing a cool t-shirt tonight. Shout out to Evans, you know it, legs. Shout out to Senator Coy for her speech. Shout out to free parking passes for all. A short Senate indeed. Thank you, Will, for the fact. Thanks, everyone.
Sorry about that, folks. You can pick up where you left off.
All right, picking back up. Barron. Bellamy. Blood.
Here.
Broughton. Brown. Carey. Compton. Coy. DePaz. Dole. Gromas. Heatherman. Hoffman. Johnson. Kamen. Kirshen. Kidd. Kermer. Labidi. Long. McFarland. McPhee. Middow. Murphy. Naretti. Navarro. Oury. Pelton. Phillips. Pilchard. Pondillo. Rogers. Saya. Salmon. Shear. Schweier. Spindler. Stout. Strout. Talbert. Thomas. Bulgamore. All right, thanks everyone.
All right, thanks for bearing with us, folks. That was a pretty short Senate. Caucus Leader Compton, is there a motion? It's been moved and seconded to adjourn until next week at the same time, at the same place. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we will stand adjourned at 8:32 p.m.